level saying, you know your basic skills, you know your basic, you have those skills and attributes for your job. It indicates that you've mastered a body of knowledge, that you can make sound decisions that reflect maximum value for taxpayer dollars. You've got that where you're actually efficient and effective in your job. One of the last ones that I thought was is that many state, local, and state governments formally recognize the CPPB and CPPO designations as meaningful standards. So as you start looking at a lot of the different job postings that are out there, you'll see that a lot of them are requiring kind of certification. They ask for either a minimum of a CPPB or some other nationally accredited standard. So this is one way to work through your career that you can demonstrate that you've got those standards and that your future employers can recognize that you've got those all taken care of. Okay. General eligibility. Okay. So the UPPCC is designed specifically for professionals. And with that, there are 3 areas that are very heavily focused on as far as like eligibility to take the exam. 1, you need to have some formal education. 2, public procurement experience. And 3, coursework training in procurement. So unlike other different certifications, you need to have substantial work experience. And we're going to get into the individual ones for the CPPB and the CPPO. You also have to take significant coursework training and the formal education. Okay, CPPO, Certified Public Procurement Officer. The minimum educations, you have to have a bachelor's degree. And as far as the coursework training, you need to have at least 3 credit hours of public procurement coursework, or 6 credit hours of procurement-related coursework, and then 72 hours of procurement training and education. Do you know what is awesome? You are in one of those procurement training sessions right now. So hot diggity dog, you're going towards it. Okay. Or if you don't have the formal education as far as like the procurement coursework, then you can have 174 hours of procurement training coursework. All right, and for the CPPO, you need to have 5 years of procurement experience in the last 10 years, and at least 3 of those must be management or supervisory. So, pretty cut and dry, right? Pretty good. Everyone really excited? Everyone still with me? All right, okay. CPPB, all right. This is the one that I am going for this year. So, you need to have a minimum of an associate's degree. You need to have 3 credit hours of public procurement or 6 procurement-related coursework. That's in school, and for the CPPB, you only need 56 credit hours of procurement training, or 158 overall. And with that, you need to have 3 years of public procurement experience within the past 10. Yes?
On the option number 2 for the 158 contact hours, how long of a period do you have for those? I mean, is it like over a 2-year period, a 5-year period?
On looking at all of the information that I've seen, I don't see that there's a time limit on that. So I think as long as you've accumulated that many contact hours, it should be considered. But full disclosure, I do not work for the UPPCC, so I can't promise that is the correct answer. But everything that I've looked through and read through, they didn't have a time limit on there, like the experience within the past 10 years. I didn't have a limitation from what I've seen. So, okay. So, the process overview. Okay, review the requirements in this lovely guide for application. It's like a 27-page document that you can get from UPPPC, and it'll tell you kind of everything we're going to go through and give you a lot of full of hints. Complete the application, gather required documentation, submit the application. Seems pretty straightforward, right? That's what they would like you to believe. Having gone through this recently as far as getting everything submitted, there's a lot that as we start going through that kind of wanted to share at least what I picked up and kind of what I've learned. And everyone else who has taken the CPPB or CPPO recently, I would love for your input as well as we go through. Okay. The process overview continued. Please allow 4 to 6 weeks for UPPCC to complete the review. If you are found to be eligible, then you are required to pay an additional examination fee at that time in order to schedule your exam. Once you're approved, you have 1 calendar year to take the exam. So they offer it twice a year. So you have 2 opportunities to take and pass the exam with your approved application. There are 190 multiple choice questions, and that's for both the CPPB and the CPPO. 175 of them are scored and 15 are not. And it tests the 6 essential topic areas that are identified in the body of knowledge. So, quite fun. And I found looking up on the multiple choice questions, they score that kind of like they do the SAT or the ACT. They take all the scores, there's the raw score, then they convert them from 1,000 to 2,500, and then you have to obtain a score of 1,800 or higher from that. But what that means as far as how many questions you have to pass, I don't know. But that's their explanation as far as how they determine the score in the passing one. Perfect.
Yes, some can argue with this, but I just recently passed the CPPO test. There's a kind of a good and a better and a best answer. And I think they weight the scores according to that. So you can have a good answer on there that's yes, it's correct, but there could be a better answer on the multiple choice that you'll get more points. So that's something to kind of consider as well, so that there's not always a cut and dry one answer. There really could be multiple answers, and you'll be scored differently on how well you answer the question.
Fantastic. All right. Don't go with your first response. Make sure you read all of them, because there could be a much better choice. Thank you, Kurt. Yeah. All right. And once you take the exam, 6 to 8 weeks, you should receive your exam results. So, yay. It's kind of like taking the bar all over again, you know? You take the test and then you wait, you know, a couple months until you find out how you did. All right. So once you take and pass, then you get a lovely certificate and lapel pin, which, hot diggity dog, I mean, who doesn't wear that everywhere, right? I have to confess, I don't think I've ever worn a lapel pin anywhere. So, you know, I could just be that me. All right, that's just me. All right. And the other thing with the CPPB and CPP are required to recertify every 5 years in order to be current and maintain your status. So,
which means you get to pay more money and prove that you continued your education, basically.
see, I think we are all in the wrong business. Just right, you know, between
I want to
us.
say recertification was like $250, roughly.
Yeah, so I mean, I was talking to Colette about this yesterday. I think what they're really trying to do is like test us to see. Why would we pay like $500 something to go prove that we know, you know, procurement? I think we should just like call them up and be like, that's not a good deal. As a buyer, that is not the best deal. And then, you know, just see if they'll give us the certification then, right?
But Zach, you can have more letters to your name.
Exactly, you know? Okay, fees. Yes, like I said, we are in the wrong area. I think we should be charging, you know, all these fees for fun stuff too. So, if you already are a CPPO, CPPB member, then the application fee is $225. If you are not a member, then it's $350. The exam is a separate $300. And if you need to reschedule, they charge additional fees for all that. But the good news, if you are a NIGP member, which we all are, there is a discount that goes. If you are an ASPO member, that also has a discount, but you only get one discount. So,
Just want to clarify that real quick. So the member bit is national NIGP.
correct.
Yeah,
Yes.
it is national, which the membership fee is $190.
So, yes. All right. So, application deadlines. Okay. For those of you who are so excited to take this in May, you have until February 4th to apply without a late fee if you have to schedule your exam by mid-April. Same thing with October, and you can see when the actual exam dates are. Yes.
I just want to mention on the fees, I don't know, maybe Tara can clarify for us, but the state paid for my application fee and my testing fee.
Yes.
I get it, so I think they pay for so many a year, just, you're a member of NASPA, is that what it is, Tara?
It's a member of PEP, basically, if you're a member of PEP and you come to us. We still have 2, possibly 3 scholarships left for the year that would cover all your exam fees. And somebody asked me, is there an application fee? And the answer is, not yet, maybe I'll think about that, but right now it's call Tara and get your stuff in and get it signed up, and whoever first come, first served, we pay.
Yeah, so that's one of the incredible things that's in establishing the Procurement Education Partnership and all of that is they do support these efforts, and it's an incredible opportunity. So I recommend if you are considering it, contact Tara and try to get that. Terry.
Tara, is that 2 more for this school?
For this calendar year.
Calendar year.
At least 2 more, possibly 3. I have to really look to see if Jake here managed on last year's or.
All right. Okay, so applying for certification. Yes, a lot of fun information straight from UPPC. We're going to actually walk through the different applications, and I will show you all the fun that I got to go through and some of the little pickups that I got. One of the things down here that I noticed, and I don't know how much it'll apply to anyone here, but if you attended school and your transcripts would be in the language other than English, you will have to get a notarized translation sent. So just a little heads up, I don't know who may have transcripts that are in any other language, but keep that in mind, especially when you're considering deadlines to get everything in. Okay, more information from UPPCC. Make sure you keep a copy of all of your application documents. College transcripts must be included. That's one of the required ones, and since you are required to have an associate's for the CPPB, or at least a bachelor's for the CPPO, you need to get transcripts. Non-refundable application fee, separate exam fee. Once you pass all of that, then you get the authorization to test, and you have 1 year to take it. So, yay! They have that. There's one, I believe, up at the University of Utah. There's one in Taylorsville. There's one down in Orem, and there's one up in Pocatello. So if you feel like taking a little drive, clear your head, you know, want to do that before you take the 3.5-hour test, you have options. So you can definitely do that. Okay, the application is valid for 1 year. And the second bullet point I thought was do not meet the requirements at that time, or they're something else. Then you still have that 1 year time in which to take the exam. So you need to get everything together and submit it for the next testing window to take it for that next one. So you have that 1 year that you don't have to resubmit the application fee if for any reason they reject it at that first time. So
One other thing about the 1 year is if you by chance, and it happens, fail, if you scheduled for the May and you've got your application in, you can take the October without applying again, you just have to pay a second test fee.
yes, that, and that's where your application is valid for that 1 year. So for whatever reason you don't pass, you have one extra time take it. So, all right, who's excited so far? Big me, okay. So really get started early. I know there's everything about the little tenure, how has life aged you? This was me when I started the application process, and that's me now. I mean, it really does get you. So, okay, preparation. Okay, so I did a screenshot. These are all the different documents that I compiled on the left-hand screen, or left hand of the screen, trying to prepare. Really, it is kind of like a little marathon, a little battle thing. Just know that you're going to have to get it and just start planning. Just start thinking and kind of going through what you need to do and just start collecting what you need for your application.
Okay.
Yes?
NIGP will actually, you can get on their Insight, there you can print out your transaction.
Yes.
And that's all you need to include, that one sheet of paper. You don't need to include the details on the application. It's just one sheet of paper, and they've tracked if you've gone to forum, or if you've done webinars, anything you've done and signed up through Insight, they have your transcript.
And that is a really good point. Anything through NIGP automatically flows over. Like you can just get that and they take it without any additional question or information. If it's not done through Insight, so all of the PEP, EdPAC, our local chapter, those don't automatically go up to that national Insight level. So you will need to make sure that you keep track of your certificates and that you can demonstrate that you met all the requirements. For PEP, TARA gives you a certificate at each one. If you want the seminar. And for here, Erica, if you need copies of any certificates for what we've done here at the Utah chapter, Erica can help you with those.
So if you don't have your PEP or didn't pick it up, feel free to reach out to me. I'll send you a spreadsheet of every PEP we've ever had. You tell me which days and months you were there. I go check, I build you. Don't make it a habit because it's time consuming.
It is, and we appreciate everything that TARA does, and we know your work. So if you,
Thank you.
yes.
Exactly.
All right.
But you can get them. Don't go, oh, well, I know. We'll
Yeah.
give them to you.
So, okay, getting started. Woot woot. Okay, who has been to the UPPCC website? Yes, all right. Everyone can get an account. So if you don't have an account, you can get one really easily. And if you do, you kind of go the same way. So you see up on the top right, the My UPPCC. That is where you're going to click to start any process. So once you do that, it'll take you here. So you log in with the username and password. If you don't have one, the nifty little bottom link there, new customer, click here. Then that'll walk you through and you set up your account and fantastic. Everything is good. Okay. Once you log in, it takes you to this fun screen. So you can see I have no CPPO certification or CPPB certification. And then everything you need is applications. You are going to be going over here. So the CPPB or CPPO application. And that is where you're going to click to start the entire fun process. Okay. Once you click in there, it'll take you to something like this, which, yay, isn't that pretty? You can see I took these screenshots after I had submitted my application. So my status is under staff review, but you can still go through and double check everything that you have submitted. So there are these lovely categories on the left-hand side. You've got the instructions, additional information, minimum requirement selection, and that is where you select which option you are going for. So if you're taking the 3 procurement-related course hours, or if you're taking the 6 directly called the procurement-related one, that option, or if you're just going for the full training hours option as well. You go through applicant confidentiality. If there's anyone that you want to be able to get your results or be able to see your application, than there. I didn't choose any, really take screenshots of all of those because that's more informational kind of information or part of the application. Okay, so going back, jumping into formal education. This is where you get to list all of the degrees that you have achieved. So they ask for your institution name, location, year you graduated, and you have to make sure that you get a transcript. So, fun thing with transcripts, I don't know how many of you remember your law weeks because I got my undergrad at BYU, and trying to go back and figure that out 12, 14 years ago or whatever it was. So then I had to go through the internal help desk, and that. It took a little bit just to get access before I could even request my transcript. Request your transcript. Teresa, do you have a question or?
Oh, no, I'm good.
Oh, okay. I look back here. Okay. So when you request it directly to UPPCC application department, they will not accept anything that is not school from one of these 6 credits here in the US. So keep that in mind. Okay. Public procurement experience. This is where it came on. So, if you are going for your CPPB, you do not need to demonstrate any management or supervisory experience. But if you are going for your CPPO, you want 3 years of management or supervisory roles. The underlined and bolded, you need to list a start date and an end date for every single job. So even if you are currently there, you need to have an end date to your position. So I put mine, several months in the future, saying I'm still here. Yes. So if you don't, then it gives you errors, and yeah. So one of the fun idiosyncrasies of our system. Okay. So when you go through, you can see you have your start date, end date, your title, the department, location, and this is another fun one. For every job that you have, you need to have an official position description. So you need to have the official title and the official job description for your job. For those with the states, DHRM is awesome. You go and you can just print out the job description. If your job description does not have enough procurement and procurement buzzwords in them, then you can do other documentation and you can provide additional information to justify why that job should count towards your procurement experience. All right. So for example, with my current position, there is not an official title for Director of Purchasing and Contracts. It is just administrator is the title and job description for the board. So I had to get the official job description, and then I had to create my own working description and explain everything that I do and how it's actually related to public procurement. And then any other documentation that you want to include. It shouldn't change that much. You should be able to just go find that and file it away in a file, and when you're ready to apply, it's already right there. So, okay. Coursework. This I found to be a little brutal. This section, yes. Okay, so there are 2 different coursework training that you can do. One is the not pre-qualified. So that's everything that is not your NIGP national certificate. So on that one, you can just automatically say that one's been pre-approved by NIGP at national level and just upload that and you're good. But for everything else, and that's the majority of what you do, this is going to be under the not pre-qualified. And yes, this is the fun. Yes?
So did you put your UP certificate as qualified or not
under not qualified. So, the question was, with all of the procurement education partnership, the PEP certificates, did I list those under the pre-qualified or the not pre-qualified? I included all of mine under the not pre-qualified. I don't know. I felt I'd rather put that in and provide the additional information than have it kicked back and rejected for that reason. So, anyone who's recently taken it, how did you do it, Kai?
Not pre-qualified.
Not pre-qualified? Okay. So, Kai recently took up formal coursework. Okay. This is where you can have some fun. So, with the formal coursework, once again, you need your transcript. So you need to demonstrate that you got a C or better or a pass for all courses that you're claiming meet the formal training requirements. The procurement-related coursework, you also have to demonstrate which area of the body of knowledge it relates to. And procurement training, once again, you need instructor-led, all that fun stuff. I'll show you in an example of kind of how all that works. All right, documenting, you need the transcript. Procurement training, you need a certificate. And where is it? Okay. Okay, the applicant's name as the attendee, the title of the training, the date and location of the training, the name of the training education partner or provider, and the duration of the activity, the contract hours. All of those have to be on your certificate. So, I want you to just remember that for a second. Okay, so when you start doing this, this is one of my formal coursework. So I did contracts. I got my law degrees, so we actually had a contracts class. So the date the course completed, oh goodness, I don't remember. That was my first year. I picked, about mid-December because it was, fall semester. Whether that's accurate, I don't know, but that's when I took it. Credit hours, 4. Description, you have to provide the description of the class. Contract law. Hopefully, contracts. I mean, that's what we do. We're procurement, yes.
So when I did it, I graduated from my master's degree like 10 years ago in Kentucky. So I had to call my buddy that was a librarian because our course catalog isn't on the internet from the years that I went to school. And he had a photocopy and sent it to me. And I used that as proof that I took those classes and wrote the description.
Yeah. So this is where it starts to get a little bit onerous, because no longer do you have to prove that you took the class, but you have to document what the class actually taught. So once again, you remember the 2 pictures of me before and after? You start to see why. All right. Okay. Additionally, you have to institution name, all of the body of knowledge domains, and then you have to provide documentation as to like the grade that you received for the class and all that other stuff. You can have as many documents as you want, but you're only allowed here. Yeah.
Your file says the transcript. Would you send off the transcript and attach the transcript?
Oh, yes. So with my formal training to prove that I actually got it and that I got it and upload to everything, and also one sent directly to UPPCC. So that they got it as well, and then I also included that as my backup. So, all right. Now, formal coursework or training to do these type of activities, you have to have the title of the activity, the date it was, the contact hours, who the provider is, and then the description of the activities that were covered in the event. Once again, I don't remember all these things offhand, so that's why it's good that we have Tara, because Tara Utzler is your best friend. With all of your PEP certificates, if you look, everything you need is right here. I mean, it has your name, the event, who it's sponsored by, the topics were covered, the date, the credit hours, boom. You do not have to go back and try and figure out what the agenda was for that particular one, all of that. So my proposition, everyone who submits and does this needs to buy Tara a candy bar or something, just for saving us, I don't know how many hours of additional work. So, yes, it's great that it's all on there, but that's the information that you need to have for every single event. So if you're doing the 58 hours, you need 58 hours worth of certificates that show every single thing on there. So, yes. Okay. Once you get all of that done, you have the code of ethics that you have to agree to.